All Blacks and Stormers, folks. That match happened earlier today. There's been a couple of themes which keep popping up in the kind of post-match wrap of this first game of the Greatest Rivalry Tour. One is that the high ball continues to be an issue for the All Blacks. And the second is that there was a ton of TMO time in that game. A lot of TMO interventions wasting everyone's time. True or not, I went back and watched the game again just to keep note. How did we do under the high balls? Who were the ones contesting them from each side and what were the results? And then also, how much time did we actually spend waiting for the TMO to make decisions? We'll go through that pretty quick and you guys can let us know your thoughts. So we'll start with the high balls. It's been a long-standing kind of issue for the All Blacks, I feel, and we're not the best team at taking contestable high balls. It's genuinely been an area of weakness, and teams have exploited us in the past for our inability to take high balls. In the post-match press conference, Dave Rennie talked about the fact that, they struggle when guys are going for the tap rather than necessarily trying to catch it. We did see a little bit of that in this game. But how did we do under the high balls? By my count, there's 7 times that the Stormers put in an attacking or exiting high ball. I'm basically looking at times when the Stormers put up a high ball and it was in some way or form contested by both teams. I'm not looking at kicks long. I'm not looking at restarts. I'm not looking at the All Blacks kicks. I'm mainly looking at the Stormers putting in kicks towards the ABs. 7 of them. How did we go? What do you reckon we got out of 7? How many did the All Blacks retain? First one is a cross kick to Sinatla. It's Bodie against Sinatla. Sinatla wins that one, but luckily for the All Blacks, he knocks it on. So it's still a win for the Stormers. I'm giving that one to the Stormers because, if anything, if he doesn't knock it on, he scores a try. But he certainly wins the contest to be the guy who's able to knock it on. So I'm still giving that one to the Stormers. By no means did Bodie catch that one. Second one is a Stormers box kick out from their own 22. It is kind of not really contested by the Stormers. I'll still include it, because there are Stormers players waiting around the landing zone of the ball to see if there are any scraps, and it's a good thing they did for them, because there's 2 All Blacks who are in the vicinity who kind of compete for it, Segner and Leroy Carter. They both kind of go for it. Nobody gets it. It gets knocked on, and sure enough, the Stormers do get the scraps. So 2 from 2 for the Stormers. We do get one for the All Blacks in that yellow card period when Ahmed puts in an up and under into the All Blacks 22. Beauden Barrett, who's often the man contesting these high balls, interestingly enough, he's competing with Zas for it. Nobody really gets it. It's kind of unclean ball. It ends up coming off the Stormers, but the All Blacks are able to get the possession. So despite the fact that it's a bit of a mess, the All Blacks end up with the ball. So I will kind of reluctantly or just by default give that one to the ABs. We didn't win it, but we ended up with the ball. So we're 1 from 3. Then very soon after, another high ball for Ahmed into the All Blacks, or just outside the All Blacks 22. Bodie Barrett against Zas again. This one, Zas is able to tap back, so that's a Stormers win. Then we got Duvanaka with another X-Get box kick. It is Bodie up against Sinatla. This one, Sinatla is again the man who wins it, but he's again not able to really control it. He kind of ends up half kind of kicking it and it goes into touch, but by no means did the All Blacks catch it, defuse it, and get the ball. It was, if anything, it was a Stormers chance, which they didn't quite take. Then we got Khalamp with a high kick in the second half from about halfway into the All Blacks half. This time it is Rico contesting with Sinatla, and it is tapped back by Rico, so we kind of get it there. But whose hands does it end up in? It ends up in the Stormers' hands. So we've still kind of got to give that one to the Stormers. They were the ones who win possession. And then Ahmed with another high ball. This is the 7th one. This is the final one. We're not looking too good so far. We at least get the last one. It's a high ball. It's Bodie up against Sinatla. Again, they were sending Sinatla after the high balls all day. Bodie takes him out in the air and ends up giving away a penalty. So nobody really won it, but the All Blacks conceded a penalty, so it's advantage Stormers, so I'll give that one to the Stormers. So in terms of who ended up the beneficiary of the high balls, you kind of got to give the Stormers 6 out of 7. The All Blacks didn't catch one clean at all. So that's pretty troubling. I was kind of hoping with Morby there that would see him under some high balls, but all the kicks were going Bodie's way, largely. So that's, like I said, you got to believe if I can count up 6 from 7, Russie will be doing even more homework than that, and the other South African provincial teams as well. So the high ball struggles are definitely a real thing. We did not do well under the high balls in this game. And what about the TMO? How many interventions do you remember? Because it feels like there's been a lot of talk that there were hundreds of them. By my count, there's 4. 4 TMO interventions, 3 in the first half. I think what makes it interesting and maybe makes it seem worse is the fact that 3 of these interventions by the TMO end in yellow cards. So if you're an All Blacks fan, you're not a fan of the TMO because every time we get a TMO, well, 3 out of the 4 times, it's ending in an All Blacks yellow card. The first one is for an All Blacks chance. It's Bodie Barrett with that little grubber kick through when they had the line break where they thought maybe he'd potentially scored a try, but he knocked it on. That's a pretty quick TMO intervention. It's less than a minute, 56 seconds. That's not bad work from the officiating team. I think compared to some other sports, it's maybe a bit slow. I know people hate comparing it to rugby league, but rugby league also has a bunker system where they make quick decisions. I think this would be slow by the bunkers standards in NRL. Not that I'm a fan of NRL or watch it. I don't have anything against it. It's a great sport, but I don't watch it enough to know, but I'm pretty sure the bunker makes a decision quicker than that for such a simple kind of knock-on call. So 56 seconds. Then we got the ALB high tackle. That one takes 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 2 seconds. So that's a wee bit longer. He ends up getting yellow carded from it. Then we got the Fenter denied maul try, which also had a kind of second part, and that Simon Parker got yellow carded for a maul infringement. So it's a 2-parter, which is obviously going to take longer, and it does take longer, 2 minutes and 33 seconds to come to that conclusion. And in the second half, we get the Morby one on his own line, where he gets yellow carded for not letting Halant place the ball. That one's not gone down that well here in NZ. A minute and 58 for that decision. So 3 of the decisions took around about 2 minutes. One's 2.5, but it is a double decision. So that does mean we spent collectively 7 minutes and a half approximately watching them watch screens. It's basically from whistle to whistle. That's what I was counting. Whistle start, whistle end. That's the TMO time. So around about 7.5 minutes. It's a fairly long time when a game is only, it's around about 2 hours for a rugby broadcast when there's a 15-minute halftime in the middle. So 7 minutes and a half of sitting around watching TMO is a fair bit. So I get why there's a bit of less than kind of thrilled reception to the amount of TMO. So the pure amount of interventions for is maybe not egregiously high. You'd like it to be a bit lower. And the fact that 3 of the 4 end in yellows is probably not going to endear it to any New Zealand fans. But yeah, 7.5 minutes is indeed a fairly long time in the scheme of things. But that's it. You guys let us know your thoughts. If you found that interesting, feel free to drop us a like or a subscribe. More rugby chat coming your guys' way as this tour continues. Plus the Aussies are playing the Japanese tonight and the Box playing the Argentinians very soon as well. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.